Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the library. Today, we'll be talking about the Precursors, the ancient race before the Forerunners. Let us begin. The Precursors were an advanced race that preceded and were mythologized by the Forerunners. The Forerunners classified them as transcendent, having the ability to travel among the galaxies and accelerate the evolution of intelligent life. While the Precursors themselves had long since disappeared, during the time of the Forerunners, evidence of their technological and remained scattered across not only the galaxy, but also outside it, namely the large Magellanic Cloud. I honestly have no clue how to say that word, but let's continue. The term precursor means one that precedes and indicates the approach of another. This is also the definition of the term foreigner. The Latin root word trans means across or beyond. Sentience is the ability to experience sensation and is often used to imply sapience, the ability to think. A transsentient being may thus be considered beyond any recognized being and beyond the level of godhood. The Forerunners knew few concrete details about the Precursors, and most of their supposed knowledge came from the mythology they had constructed around their creators. Their most central belief was that the mantle, the rule of the guardianship of the galaxy and all life, was bestowed upon to them by the Precursors. From a Forerunner perspective, the passing of the mantle secured the Precursors' legacy in the form of the Forerunners, continuing their work after they departed. Much in the same way, humanity was appointed to be the Forerunners' inheritors shortly after the activation of the Halo Array. According to Forerunner belief, the Precursors had peacefully passed away after they fulfilled their mission in creating the Forerunners. The Forerunners believed the Precursors had shaped the Forerunners in their own image, and some even suggested that they may have done the same with humans. By the time of the Human-Foreigner Wars, prehistoric humans also claimed to be the sole inheritors of the mantle, something contemporary Foreigners considered heretical. The majority of this information was mythology with a debut historical basis, providing a set of explanations for the innumerable mysteries surrounding the Precursors. The facts were very different from what the Foreigners had ultimately chosen to believe. The Precursors were responsible for seeding the Milky Way with life, creating the galaxy's diverse composition of species to become new tools and companions, and engineered millions of solar systems. Over time, they would also judge whether a species was worthy of the mantle, their assumed role of guardianship of all life. A few Precursors have escaped or were spared by the Foreigners. They either went into suspended animation or became molecular dust that was meant to eventually regenerate into their past forms. However, over millions of years, the dust became defective, failing to reconstruct precursors and instead inducing madness and mutations in life forms that came in contact with it. This form would later be known as the Flood. Far from accepting failure and extinction, the Precursors viewed the Flood as a means to bring unity to the galaxy, as well as punish the Foreigners for their insolence. Vowing that none of their creations would rise against them again, the Precursors decided that all life would be deprived of free will and merged into one. In the end, the sum of the Precursors' creation would be a reflection of themselves, and the suffering of their creations caused them. Around 107,445 BCE, 10 million years after the Foreigners genocided the Precursors, humanity's interstellar empire came into contact with the Precursor powder, which would, over several centuries, bring forth the Flood. The Flood initially ravaged humanity's colonies until receding from the galaxy on its own accord, awaiting for a better moment to exact their final vengeance on the Foreigners. The Flood intentionally allowed some humans to go uninfected, leaving the implication of a possible cure that would misdirect efforts in its assault, while the truth of the humans' genetic attack on the Flood was lost, until it was far too late. And with that, The information from this record has been fully explained. With this said, we hope you enjoy looking into the records of the Precursors. If you want more content like this, like the video so we can see if you enjoy this kind of content. If you ever want to support us, we'll be setting up a Patreon soon, or join our Discord, but that's up to you to support us that way. You can always just like the video or subscribe to see when our videos come up. As always, this has been Braden, Bearers of the Mantle, signing out.